Hello, it's Joey John Maguire, coming out of my mobile home in France and convalescing, getting over the quadruple heart bypass I had last year, and enjoying the respite, if I'm quite honest. Although the summer could be better. It's actually warmer in my new home in Scotland than it's been over the last few weeks here, which is quite amazing. Anyway, about to recite my latest poem. It's called Political Snuffing, and I think you'll get the drift very quickly. By Joey John Maguire. I would like you all, for a moment, to be 18 again, for you to take time to assess your immaturity then. And although at the time I'm sure you perceived yourself to be an adult, I wonder if you can be honest with yourself. Were you really? I want you to imagine you are in uniform, either by choice or forced due to poverty and deprivation, or any of a myriad of other reasons, that you are armed and on the streets of Northern Ireland. At 18, your first tour of duty, at the sharp end of the troubles, you are understandably apprehensive, no doubt terrified, for you are well aware of the dangers of being tail-end Charlie and the hazardous consequences of sleep deprivation. Every minute of every day spent avoiding the crosshairs of terrorism, your mind is racing far faster and beyond its normal modelling, as you battle subconsciously the early propagation of post-traumatic stress, yet to raise its ugly head from hibernation. Outnumbered 20-1 by an angry mob, though heavily armed you feel vulnerable, as your actions are being governed by the yellow and blue cards issued on embarkation with heavily loaded bias against you. One rule for the terrorist, another for the British soldier, for they could sleep at night and choose their moment. It was never a level playing field. The element of surprise was theirs to spring whenever. Under orders, failure to respond to a command would bring court-martial. Time spent in the digger in Colchester, and even more sinister, a dishonourable discharge, coupled with the shame it would bring to both your family and regiment. So amidst the chaos, at all hours, in all weathers, you placed yourself in harm's way to keep the feuding factions apart. And with never any thanks given, is it any wonder that you would instantly respond when told to open fire? Your response is automatic, and it can't be anything else. And though youth and naivety cause you to have a heavy heart, you have no qualms about counting the dead, for they would have seen you dead too. You grieve silently for all of them, not knowing if you are responsible for any death. The mental scars that you will no doubt carry for life go with you back to England as dark shadows of memory. They did not warn you of the haunting nightmares, the hot and cold sweating that would plague your nights, nor did they tell you that your life was all but over and would end in the gutter of life. After all the reassurances, the shock of being brought to book rocks and shatters the bedrock of your soul. You are now a grandfather with grandchildren who are proud, and now you're charged with murder by a mob still baying loud. The guilty midst those you tried to keep apart now demand revenge on you, your family, and require your innocent blood. And all those memories that for decades you have suppressed come flooding back, like some dam has been breached and all is broken. Panic quickly turns into despondent isolation, for who can you trust if you can't trust those who gave the orders? And do you remember the pain of how it felt when, stripped of trust, when you threw your medal into the river? No thanks given for your sacrifice and bravery, no recognition for placing yourself in harm's way, no respect for your unbending loyalty, and how to admit you are a scapegoat to your loving wife. When they signed the peace agreement, did anyone come to explain what it really meant? That they had sold you down the river of appeasement, and that the lives that they were destroying were lives well spent. Joey John Maguire, I was there with the parachute regiment. I didn't want to be there. I was just doing a job. Joey John Maguire.